Yeah. This is something I wanted to do. Look, whenever I hop on Roblox, alright, and I look over at my chat. No, not even just Roblox. When I'm playing anything at all in general, I look over at my chat. It's just a bunch of motherfuckers hating. For some reason, you guys believe that I'm bad at video games, which doesn't make sense to me because I'm literally good at Roblox. I'm playing against you guys. Okay, we'll do this. Okay, hop in, y'all. Hop in. I think I'm on Team Soap. Sorry for this decision. Exactly. See, that's the right decision. You don't gotta be sorry, my friend. I'm cracked. No, don't search for an opponent. I know a lot of y'all have me added on Roblox already. Can y'all like hop in the lobby? Yes, Thurl, you'll be my first victim. Come on, let's do a 1v1. Come here. Yeah, Flames, you too. Come here. Let's do a 1v1. I'm playing against y'all, okay? Flames, come here. You'll be a representative for Dueling Grounds. Come here. Exactly, good. I found the stream of the Minecraft fish. Oh, wait, fuck, my bad. Yo, Thurl, can you switch it to Roblox? Thank you. Hold on. Oh yeah, you've seen me. You've watched me play this, haven't you? Hold on. You'll be the representative for this. Yeah. Look, none of y'all beating me on this. Okay. No. Good shots. Not good enough. You'll be the representative for this, alright. We are gonna play 3 rounds and I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. Yeah, don't try me. This is cute, really. Like, this is cute. Flames, you're a good man. I respect you, you know what? But like, this, you gotta understand, like, this is me. Okay, no. Good hits. Not good enough. Again. Wrap it up. You about to lose? Yeah, funny. Again, this is me versus chat, by the way. Okay, sure, you avoided it. Good. No, not bad. Okay. He's getting some good hits. No, not bad. Okay, yeah, not bad. Yeah. Fine. Alright, okay. No, that's fine. You'll be boring if you win too cleanly, right? Okay, so I can see you're getting the gist of it. Again, not quite. What's the Elemental Blade? I don't know if hello? Me? Are we kidding? Oh yeah. Nah, I win. Yeah, it's raps. Like, come on. This is really me versus chat, by the way. It's raps. It's so raps. Oh, it's so raps. Yeah. Nah. Yeah, nah. There we go. You know what? I'll let another guy take over. I'll let another guy try. Who else want to try me? Play chats games? Yeah, no. I'll get to it. But this is I kind of gotta show y'all. This is me versus chat. Okay, this is the first game. We'll do 5 games in total. We just switched to Roblox. Hasn't updated. Okay, that's fine. Another guy. Is that you? You wanna go? You wanna go? Okay. I call hacks. Show Flames. Flames. You gotta accept Flames. Flames, this is my game. Alright, this is my domain. Try me, motherfucker. Okay, alright. What? Alright, okay. A little. Stop. This is weird. What is happening? Okay, nah. Okay, this is weird. Yeah, there we go. Now this makes a bit more sense. Okay. Nah, good dodge. Good dodge. What? What? No, okay. Now this is insane, but alright. Sure. Yeah. Channel predictions. Wait, I only got one mod. So you gotta... And we're literally playing against him right now. Yeah, don't try me. Don't... Are you trying to out on me? Do you know who I am, motherfucker? This is insane. This is insane. I refuse to lose the first round first. I refuse. There we go. See, this is what I like to see. What's the game called? Dueling Grounds. It's fine. He did alt cancel me. That sucks a bit, but it's fine. Yeah, nah. That shit is not long range ability, my friend. What? How are you doing that shit? Yo, this is crazy. This is insane. Bro, what? Yo, yeah. I refuse. I've never won a game of this ever. This cannot be my first. Stop. Thank you. See, this is better. This is how it should be. Wait. Ooh. Stop. You're really good at them combos. Yeah, you're dead. Yeah, it's dueling grounds. Oh my fucking god. Don't fuck with me. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, fine. That's game 1 to me. Game 1 goes to me. GG. Thank you, Thara. You know what? I'm glad you understand. Okay, I'm GOAT. That was close. I'll give you that. You're the closest one to have come to beat me. But again, I'm GOAT. All right, there we go. That's game 1. Anyone in chat thinks that they can best me in any other game? Hey, who? I was on 250 game. Sounds like a bunch of CC excuses to me. Okay. Who's got the next game? Who thinks you got me? 2D basketball is my domain. Please, we already played against you. I dunked on you. Okay, look, we might not have many Robloxers in here for today, so it's fine. Okay, flames. Let's go. TDS PvP. Is that what you want to do? Okay, sure, we can do that. I don't know what that is. Wait, that better not be unknown battlegrounds or whatever the fuck, because I don't know that. What is that? This? Strongest battlegrounds? Maybe I'm not a fan of this though. This is like... It's just a big skirmish right now. It's not really tower defense sim. Oh. Yo, what do you mean by... I don't know what this is, bro. I'm not playing this. The PvP? Tower defense. I mean, I could... Tower defense sim. Fine. Parkour Legacy. Wait, let me see what this is about. Hold on. The fuck is this? Hey, Thora, do you change the title? Maybe put it to like what's the title? Oh, okay. Never mind. It's fine. I mean, on Roblox and copy. Send me a request or something, man. On this? This doesn't look like much of a PvP game. You scared? No, I mean, this doesn't look like a PvP game, man. Tower defense game. Team of friends face against even stronger. Yeah, I mean, you can team up. That makes sense. I'm thinking more like PvP, you know what I mean? I don't know though. I don't know. You need to have something PvP. Okay, you know what? We'll go with the classics. Alright, fuck this. We'll go Rivals. Everyone knows Rivals. Everyone's tried it before. Okay, simple stuff. Hold on. I've played this like once, I think. Yep. Okay, we'll do this. We can do this. Hop on, fellas. Wait. How do I make my cursor disappear? Oh my god, this dumbass game. Settings. What is it? Keyboard and mouse. Resume. Is this it? Man, this is stupid ass games, bro. Hold on. Hold on. I sent you a request. Sure. You know what? Hold on. I gotta accept all these. Is there a limit to Roblox? Roblox, like, connections, by the way? Because I got a bunch. I got a bunch. 59. Is that a lot? I don't know. I don't really play this shit. 1,000 friends? Okay. Yeah, that's quite a lot. Okay, let's go. Let's go, fellas. Let's go. No. Try me. Rivals. Hold on. Who wants to scrap? 1 of 1. We gotta do... Wait, that's 2v2. This is 2v2. We don't want 2v2. 1v1. Okay, open. Let's go. Throw. We've already fought. Throw. Fuck off. Get off the thing. We've already played. You know what? It doesn't matter. Guys, the both of y'all can get on, y'all. Let's go. I'll play this shit like once. 99? Are you level 99? That's crazy. I am 1, man. I'll play this once against Faye. If you lose, I'll just let you know. You gotta log off. Oh yeah, we gotta do predictions, don't we? Wait, that's a random. Oh, it is. What are you doing? Am I taking damage? What the fuck? Yo. What are you doing? I can't see shit. Wait. Hold on. I wasn't locked in. Oh my fucking god. Fuck this. Yeah. We gotta run predictions. Throw, if you aren't playing, can you do predictions real quick? Yo, this guy's lagging all over the place. Okay. I am playing. This is you? You get a random guy? Alright, no, never mind. It's fine. I'll just count this as one of y'all, alright? Okay. Yeah, so this guy plays too much. Very simple explanation. He's got a sniper. Hold on. Oh, it's because I'm level 1, so he's like... He doesn't matter if I'm level 1. Fuck you, man. I'm not letting some little ass kid beat me, alright? Like, I don't give a fuck. This guy's like a child. Okay, if you're playing 99 level, for 99 levels on this game, you are a child. Ooh, come on. Okay. Nah, sure. He's got a maul. Like, what is that? Fuck is a maul, you know what I mean? You are a bum. It's a small child is what it is. Come here, bitch. Fuck you. I'm not letting a small child beat me. Fuck you. Get the fuck out of here. I refuse. I simply refuse. Come here. I'm not done with this guy. Fists. Fuck you. I fisted him. Again, not letting a child beat me. I don't give a fuck. I'm not, it's not happening. It is not happening. He's taking a side. He's probably gone to that side over there. A riot shield? Oh, you are a bum. Nice shield, motherfucker. You are shit. You actual child. You're dying to level 1. Get the fuck out of here. Never play again. Never play the game again. Never pick up the game again. You're ass. Level 91 and you're dying to me. Never played this shit before. This thing, the dude and calling me a child. Okay. Okay, you don't gotta take it out of context. You are shit. Never play the game ever again. Never play the game ever again. You go back home. Go back home. Break your screen. Break your screen because you don't deserve to play this game. You know what you deserve to do? You deserve, go do your homework. Little fucking boy. Get the fuck out of here. Embarrassing. No. Wait, is that one of y'all? Wait, shit, sorry. Wait, that gotta be one of y'all right now. I think about it. Wait, my bad. 1v1 me? Sure. Wait, I'm just letting you know. 2 goes to me, by the way. Okay, this is game 2. Singaporean server suck. Oh my god, bro. That's crazy. I'm blaming on ping. That's crazy. Game 2 goes to me, by the way. Alright, remember, we are doing... This is me versus chat. And I got game 2. Game 2 goes to me. By the way, I'm just letting you know. Hey, you know what? Yeah, run out the predictions. I don't know if it's one of y'all, but like... Wait, that wasn't... I'm a bot in Rivals. Yeah, nah, you know what? Yeah, end the predictions. I get that. I win that. How do I... Wait. Yeah, end the prediction. I win. That wasn't a viewer. Oh my god. Okay, one of you. Okay, if you're one of us, come to the tree. Hold on. I've already played against you. I dunked on you. Okay, Jackson, let's go, Jackson. Did you just send me a request, Jackson? Is that you? I don't know. I don't have a name. That's probably one of you, right? Night Faded, very nice. Night Faded, come here, Night Faded. Let's do a 1v1. Not here. Oh, here. Yes, here. Come here, Jackson. Oh my god! Don't send me a request. I'm not gonna accept that. I don't know what that is. Just stand on the thing. There we go. This is one of y'all, right? Let's go. Fine. I'm playing Roblox. My internet is genuine as today. Okay. Alright. It's fine. Where is No, blame the internet. I get it. You lose to the goat and you wanna blame the internet. No, I get it. I see it. Where's this guy? What is happening? Are you even in here? You are level 53. You should be very embarrassed if I win, by the way. Did you jump off? he jumped off, didn't he? You don't want to play against me in Rivals? Tara, I beat you in the previous one. You can do the next one if you want. Look, I'm just saying. I'm gonna dunk on all y'all. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter. It's a simple equation. I will win. Come on. Oh, I see you, little rat bastard. I see ya, little fucking head. I see your fucking toupee peeking out. Come here. Where is this guy? Never mind, I take that back. I don't see you. Oh, I saw him. Watch this. Where is he? I should put down my pistol. Oh my god, he's lagging all over the place. Oh my god. Darwin! I'm goat. That's a random dude. No, it was one of y'all. It's one of y'all. I tracked you guys. Yes, insanity. That was you? Thank you. Good to know. Hey, come here. I'm missing. It's fine. Again, oh, I see you. Oh my god. Look at that. Yeah, I knew I was gonna pick out the other side. So predictable. Come here. Peek here. I just know it. Never mind. I'm not doing that. Wait, can I make this? Ooh. Where's this guy? Ah, you reload! Why do you have a knife? I don't need no knife. Yeah, whatever. Inside, you gotta humble him. Yeah. Hey, how's that going for ya? Hey, how's that going for him? Hey, come here. Hey, come here. I don't want to see no slander ever again. Ever. Alright? Ooh. My sensitivity is too high, but it's fine. You got a little dink on me, ain't you? Okay. I should have heard you way before I actually did. Bang! 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 Ooh! Yo. You start to wonder at some point, like, how is he so goated? Come here. This is so cathartic, by the way. I need y'all to Okay, it's embarrassing for me. This is so cathartic for me. Holy shit. Because, whenever I play a video game, look at that. That's me right there. Whenever I play a video game, I'll look over at chat and it'll just be like, oh my god, you suck at this. Never play again. And I need y'all to understand this, okay? That, like, I am not... No, fuck off. I don't want notification. Like... I'm a demon, okay? I'm a demon. Okay, 1v1 me? Sure. No, okay. The next game though, next game. We've done two of this, okay? We've done the... I've won here. I have won here. I'm gonna technically erase the stream segment from my memory. I'm gonna put it on the second channel. And then I'm gonna make this one of those, like, YouTube, like, how Stream Elements bot will, like, drop a link in chat every once in a while? Yeah. This is gonna be another one of those links. Boom! I refuse. Yeah, you lost. Exactly. Thank you, Snorri. Next game! We can do something like this. No, we've already done it. Strongest battlegrounds. Okay, you know what? I am really bad at that, but okay, it's fine. It's fine because how do I put it? I gotta go in like unfamiliar territory. You know what? Yeah, I'll give you guys the advantage. Okay, it's 2-0 right now. Oh fuck! I don't want no. Come here. How do I sprint? Come here. Yeah, here come to this corner, fellas. Someone come here. This game sucks anyways. Spin a bet. Dude, I don't know what spin a betty is. I'll do it later. I'll click later. Get to do TDS PvP. Bro, it's a tower defense game. How does a tower defense game have PvP? Is that... Yeah, that's one of you. I know that's one of you. Come here. Wait. I remember what the... I remember the moves were. Wait, let me just try and remember. Give me a sec. Whoa. Give me a sec. Yep. Was that you or me? No, I think... Whoa. Wait. I keep pressing shift. Okay, that's just a regular ass. That does nothing. Okay. See, that does something. Oh, please. Please. Don't gang up on me, man. Bro, fuck off. Bang. Oh, bro, fuck you. Yo. Okay, I'm getting ganged up on. This bullshit. This actual bullshit. Bro. Do I gotta go in a private lobby or something? Okay. Yeah, fuck you. Come here. Bro. I don't know what I'm doing. Am I even doing damage if I do this? Oh, this is a regular punch. Yeah, no, fuck this. This game is funny. Yo, y'all are gang up on me, man. It's 4 of you, bro. Fuck this. Yo, y'all suck, bro. Bro, fuck you. Yo. I pressed... Oh, wait, I shouldn't go near that. Oops, alright. How am I not dead, by the way? How are you not dead? How is no one dead? This game is ass. I'm not counting this. I'm sorry. I'm not counting. Join my private... Okay, dude, I don't know how... Join? Is this how? Yeah, which one of this is you, man? I don't know. Dude, there's like a dozen people. Yo, who is this? Is this you? Is this yours? Okay, look, I'll just join. Furry, okay, Furry. Hello, Ethan. Hello. Where you at, man? Okay, there we go. Stupid ass game. Yeah, this game is genuine horse poo. Oh, Come here, man. Oh. Ow. Ow. Nah. Yeah, this game is genuine horse poo. How do you get different characters, by the way? Bang! This game is horse poo. Why you don't throw a rock at me, man? What are you, a caveman? This guy. Yep. Okay, I mean, go on, man. I'm just gonna give you some regular hits, man. There you go. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. Take that. Ow! Ow! Yeah, nah. I'm gonna keep it a buck, man. I don't really get this game. Ow! Hey, stop that. Hey, stop all that bullshit. Yo, I don't get it. See, like, how do you get different characters? How do you... Oh, I see there's a character selecting up there. Okay, I've died. You know what? Sure, I'll concede that. I probably shouldn't, because I don't know what I'm doing here. But, like, sure, you win that, man. Hero Hunter, the strongest hero. Destructive... I'll concede. You win that, man. I don't... Yeah, sure, 2-1. There you go. You win, man. You win. I know, like, jack shit about that. Sure, you got that. GG's. You got that, man. You got that. Horse again. I maintain the position. Horse poo game, but sure, man. Sure. You got it. You got it. What else we got? Spin the baddies. Yo, okay, sure. I don't get that game. I saw it on the home screen earlier. What is that about? It's not. Oh my god, it's brain rot, isn't it? This is some brain rot shit. Should we actually do steal a brain rot? We'll be like in 5 minutes who can get the most points. What is this, man? What do you got me playing? It's a gambling game. I'm gonna tell you guys about YouTube thumbnails real quick. No, where am I going? You know, in YouTube thumbnails, the younger the audience you have, the more vibrant colors you want to use in your thumbnails. Right? You know what I'm noticing about this game, y'all? That's all I'm saying. Okay, what's this about? Oh, it's Brazilian Miku! Miku Dio! Oh, what is this? What do you got me playing, man? What do you got me playing? Oh, what's maps? Fuck this. I'm not playing. Oh wait, this is Gold Ship. Gold Ship from Nope, never mind, she ran away. Yeah. Wait, that's Ado? That's... I don't know who that is. Slime Girl? From that one light novel? Damn, I can't recognize this. Yo, I watch way too much anime, man. I don't know, game, just the name was a W. Yeah, I figured, man, I figured. Let me go on to the next one. I'll do... Wait, oh wait, dice roll. Oh. Wait, I know you. You're from the one medieval anime, whatever. Is that Rias? That's not Rias. That's I watch way too much anime, man. I don't know who that is. What? Could be from that one Butler anime. Black Butler? No. Quick the dice. Go to, guys, I feel like there's better games out there. Is this really what we want to be doing? I'll just identify whoever was in the middle for a bit. I'm good at that. I'm good at that. Have I shown y'all my anime my anime figurines? They're constantly above me. They look down on me at all times. Steal a baddie next. Guys, I'm not doing more brain rot, guys. I don't know if I got that in me. I'm sure I'm glad y'all enjoy it. But like, guys, I don't know if this is for me. I might be a little bit too old. May I remind you? Oh wait, this is from Maho Seite no Slave, right? Hey, see, I got that. Guys, I need to remind y'all I am 21 years old. I am a grown-ass man. I don't know if I want to be playing brain rot games. Again, grown-ass man. Okay, it's rotating. Like a grown-ass man with dick and balls. I don't know if I want to be playing the brain rot games, guys. I'm sorry. Like, I don't got it in me. Maybe 10 years ago, I might have. I've lost it. Okay, I've lost the ability to do it. I just, it's something about me prevents me from doing it. You know what I mean? Sure, I accept you guys' things. This is you guys, right? There we go. Okay. Try 21. What's that about? 21. Is that a game? Okay. Grown ass man, Arnold again. Grown ass man with a dick and balls. 1v1 survival card game. Okay. Card 21, defeat your opponent. Oh, blackjack. Blackjack. Okay, I can do that. I can do that. Okay, let's hop in, y'all. Can I make a private room? Please don't tell me I gotta pay. Free. Okay. Wait, no. Roblox might ban me if I call it that. Burger. Let's go. Customize. Let me turn this shit to allowed. Okay. Okay, back to servers. Something with poker. Okay, this has card in it. I don't even know how to play poker. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Sometimes I get invited to play poker with my buddies. I'll just sit there pretending to know what to do. The one time I played it seriously, I had I was playing with my buddy, so it's like I got like my friend beside me to help me play for me. Yeah, no, it's not my game, man. Something okay. Play on max graphics. Not really something I want to be doing. Worst dot experience presents. What the hell? Yo, epilepsy warning. My bad. My bad. Did I accidentally quit that? Shit. I pressed a button. What is this? It's 21. Apparently this is a 1v1 game, so we'll try this. Play. Your first time, read the rules. Okay, is this just blackjack? Create a room. Standard. Distance to death or lives? Okay, I don't care. What's this? Electric chair. Different for each player. Okay, no, we want to be equal, so we'll do this. Is even more gambling. Join my lobby. Poker9, join my lobby, man. I'm already in game. Okay, let's go. Next. Sure. Standard. Okay, up in. I know at least one of y'all's already in here. Okay. Now join first. Elemental Blade. Okay. Let's go. Let's figure out how this shit works. Bro, holy quality. This is blackjack, right? It's basically blackjack. Okay, I can do that. You receive perfect draws. Okay, and it's not blackjack. What the fuck? See, perfect draw trump card. Oh, it's blackjack, but with like special abilities, right? Fuck. Is that it? Draw a card. I mean, okay. So I want to hit. So I'll draw. How do I draw? I'm trying to draw, motherfucker. Thank you. Five. You see the 4 card trump card? 4 plus 5 plus 2. Okay, let me draw again. Oh, he's choosing now. Okay. Right? 5 plus 4 plus 2. 9 plus 2. 11. Brother, you gotta choose or you're gonna die. I think he might be more confused than me. Okay, oh, use a trump card. Oh, here we go. What's this about? Best possible card from the direct draw. 7 card. If this card is already on the table, nothing happens. Okay, do I want a 7? No, I don't. Draws the 4 card. Do I want a 4? Oh, wait. Let's draw best possible card from the deck. That would be an ace. There we go. Right? 21. Perfect. I win. Right? It's weird. It is weird. But like, overkill? What? I won, man. Why are you giving me a 7? What?
I'll keep this.
Wait, I lose. Wait, this is bullshit. Wait, this is bullshit. Wait, this is bullshit. I should have won that. Was it because I double clicked? So it also drew a card? This is bullshit. I'm sorry, this is bullshit. You see destroy, you see shield. Oh, I lost a life. So now my lives have gone down to 6. Right, as you can see. Alright, fine. Let me just look at my trump cards. Draws a fall card. Remove last trump card. Bet decreases by 2. Do I want to decrease by 2? Yeah, I'll decrease by 2. Use. Okay. I just clicked use. Already done it. I've chosen. I've literally already chosen. What is happening, man? I've chosen to use it. What? This is nonsense. This is bullshit. Yeah, of course I lost. Yo, what is happening? Law accurate because receive. Why am I dying, man? Okay, 10 plus 7. Okay, this is blackjack but with special abilities. He's cheating is what's happening? Oh my god, bro. Okay, 4 should be perfect. How do I choose to use this? Do I gotta drag it? 4 card is not in the deck. Wait, no. Stop! Okay.
I'll keep this.
You gotta double click it for it to select that, right? Bro, oh, he is cheating. He can see my cards currently. Whatever. There's a time limit. Yeah, I figured. No, the thing is, I was clicking and nothing was happening, but you gotta double click it. That makes sense. Okay, no, I'm figuring it out. I'm looking through the matrix. Okay. So he's blackjack. He's blackjack, but his special abilities, and you gotta double click. I get it. Okay. This is not my turn. This is remove the last trump card, remove the last deck. The opponent drew to a deck. I don't know what he drew, so draw the best possible card from the deck. That should be a 4. There we go. And now I'll keep.
I'll keep this.
There we go. Then next I'll try and draw a 1. Nope. Now I need him to bust because it's unlikely that I'm gonna draw a 1. Right? I need him to get a card that puts him over 21. Use a trump card. Okay. I'm guessing 1 more. Does he bust? No, he doesn't. Okay. What trump cards do I got? Last card your opponent drew. Remove last card. Draws the 7 card. I do not want the 7 card. Remove the I don't want to do that. Remove last card your opponent drew to a deck. If there's 1 card left, nothing happens. Okay. I'll just do nothing. I'll pass. It's fine. I'm already on 20, right? I can chill. Right? Because in blackjack, you don't necessarily have to get 21. You just have to get as close to 21 as possible. If you're going by blackjack rules, I should be fine. I should be able to just like keep skipping and I'll be fine. You got 2 plus 5 plus 4, 7 plus 4, 11. Oh yeah, it already says 11. Use shield. What does shield do? Overkill. There we go. I saw that coming. See, I can just sit it out. Right? Guys, am I doing this right? Y'all got like any opinions? Yeah. Anyone got any ideas on? Okay, I can figure that he's dying though. Oh wait, I gotta do something. I'm gonna stay. I don't know what I'm watching. Okay, guys. I figured it out. It's blackjack. Alright, we know what happens if it's blackjack, but the special abilities. Alright? So certain cards can do like special stuff. You can draw a perfect card or something. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, look, keep watching, fellas. It'll make itself clear. What trump cards do I got? Closest to 17 wins. Oh my god, this is so perfect. Okay, I can win here. So let me just draw a card. Okay, let him do his thing. Go for 17 is goated. It should be goated. So I'll just try and get as high as possible, and then I'll just use my go for 17 and I win. Boom. I'm seeing through the matrix, fellas. I'm figuring it out. Hey, Aria, bitch.
I'll keep this.
He's gonna stay. You sure you wanna stay, man?
Hit me.
What is exchange? What? Whatever, I don't give a fuck. There's no duplicate cards. It's for, oh, I guess it's kind of boring. Not enough brain or simulation. I know. I kind of figured. Cause this is like a big brain game. All right.
I'll keep this.
Look, we need this. Okay, this is holy TikTok bro. Look, we gotta.
One more.
As a hydro viewer, you gotta be. Oh my god. Okay, I win. As a hydro viewer, you gotta be like locked in. Okay, we need to. When you say I watch hydro, people need to think, holy shit, now this guy something. This guy knows ball is what you need. What we need people thinking. All right. So by playing this sort of game, I'm leveling up your brain. Okay. Make your choice and lose. You probably 17 and is staying. I don't know if he's doing all that. You see, he's doing. You're right. You might be right. Oh, he could have like a 9. So last card. Can I remove a card by him? Oh. Wait. Wait.
I'll stay.
Wait. Why did it not destroy his card? Play me next. I want to see if I know how to play this game. Okay, wait. Hold on. We are still figuring out the game, fellas. Oh yeah, I forgot to read it out. JK Pulses. Thanks for the Twitch follow. Okay, now he's choosing. Yeah, I can delete his card, I'm pretty sure. Oh. Okay, now I don't want to use the 17. Okay. Alright. Wait. If I do this... Why didn't he delete it? Why didn't it delete his card? Was supposed to delete it. What is happening? I told my friend about you and I didn't know you, but now he's addicted to fire. I'll never tell you about watch Hydro. No! Give me subscribers! I don't know why this shit is so mysterious. Just blackjack. Bro doesn't know blackjack is that serious. Draw a card, man. Okay.
I'll stay.
Now why would you do that? Now would you do that? Because this... I basically have a guaranteed... Dude, this is pissing me off. Wait, what? What did I just do? Fuck. Wait, if you're above 17, do you just lose? No, right? It's closer to 17 was what he said.
I'm gonna stay.
Right? I should win. Closer to 17. Use go for 17. Yes, you lose. What?
I'll keep this.
That's stupid as shit. The card said closer to 17. Fuck this. Let me use a trump card. Let me see what I got. Draws the 7 card. Why would I want that? Remove the last card opponent drew. Swap the last card drawn by you and your opponent. Remove the last trump card. No. How can I decrease my score, y'all? Sure, whatever. Did I draw an accident? I fucking drew. Holy fuck. Yo, sometimes you gotta double click, sometimes you don't. Yeah, oh no. Yo, fuck you. Don't lose on me. So I lose? Why am I not losing? What's happening? Yeah, okay, now I lose. Is there any way I can like bring myself back? Can I swap? Nope. I kind of just lose. Okay.
I'll keep this.
Whatever, man. Whatever, man. Fuck this. I don't even know what's happening. Yeah, I know he won. Yeah, I know, man. Fuck you. Fuck you. Just kill me. Whoa!
Nickel Alchemist raided my stream with 1 viewers.
Oh, thanks for the raid, man. Did you enjoy your stream? Did you have a good stream? W raid. Oh, we are playing Roblox, man. Then doing a 24-hour stream. And I just lost too. I don't know what the fuck's happening, but whatever. I'm playing against my chat. He won. Do I count this? Do I count this round? Do I count this round? I don't really know what's happening. Alright, me next. Okay, we won't count that. We won't count that. We won't count that. Wait, hold on. We'll play against someone else. Yes, you win. You win. Yeah, do me next. Yeah, give me a sec. Oh, do me next is a bit weird, but alright. We'll fine. Look, we are all figuring this out, okay? So it's fine if it takes us a sec. Bro said do me next. Pause. Okay. Compete, casual, create room. Okay. Look, one of y'all just join, alright? Next. First guy to join. Let's go. Hop in. Hop in. Shout out to Nickel. Alright. You fuck ass fanboy skin. Hold on. Yeah, I gotta remember to do this. Whenever we get a raid, we gotta shout out. Oh, the shout was already done. Okay, never mind. Good shit, Tharrell. You already did it. Tharrell stands on business. There we go. Yes, fanboy. Hey, calm down, bro. Okay, fellas. Now we lock in, okay? I feel like I've figured out the game a little bit now. Blackjack with special abilities. Okay, you gotta double click, but only one click when you're selecting trump cards. Okay, I'm fine. I get it. 5, 7, 12. I'm probably higher than him. Do I got a trump card? Draw 4. I mean, I can draw 4. Sure, why not? Swap the... no. I mean, I'll draw.
One more.
Unlikely that I get a 9. Yeah, there we go. Guys, I don't need y'all tell me you're horny, bro. Please. We can 11? That's not a thing in the game. What? Bro, guys, calm down with anything. Guys, I'm gonna start timing y'all out. Stop, calm down, guys, please. Don't do this to me, guys. When new people join the stream and they see that what the chat's saying, they're gonna click off y'all. But please, wait. Oh fuck. I'll skip.
I'll keep this.
What's up, man? What you looking at? Bro, his chat is crazy. I know. See, this is why I'm doing less of the fanboy content. To tone it down, alright? Trump card? What do I have? Dude, this Falca is really perfect for me right now. Okay, then... keep.
I'll keep this. I'll stay.
I literally win here. I win. What? How? This is insane, bro. Fuck you. Man, fuck you. Fuck. Bro. Okay. I think I just don't know what's happening, okay? I would never lose if I knew what I was doing. Draw card.
Give another.
You're not gonna get a normal audience, bro. You already ruined it by posting fanboy videos. No, 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 no. It's fine. I'll figure it out. Trust. Okay, okay. I got a 5 and 6. That's a 1. Here's 4. Okay, so I got trump cards. Draws the 2. Nope, useless. Exchange. Nah. I mean, I'll just draw.
Give another.
Give me one more. Okay, wait, hold on. I haven't lost yet. Wait. Hold on.
I'll keep this.
This service, fuck is that? Hold on, y'all. Watch this. Bang. How did it go up? How did it go up? What is happening? What is happening? I swapped the last cards. He and I got this. No. Oh, it's because I double clicked. I lose. I mean, I just lose. I lose. I just lose. Oh my god, bro. Yo, fuck you. Oh my god, bro. I already like this is bullshit. Like this is bullshit. Can I like we can all admit this, right? You and me, we can all stop double clicking. You have to double click when if you're clicking on blank space, bro. Oh my god, man. Fuck this. Yeah, this is bullshit. This is nonsense. Okay. Look. We got the same. Oh, can I calculate what he has? No, I can't. Okay. What trump cards do I got? Increases by 2, decreases by 1, draws the 2 card. Last card your opponent places. Okay, wait, space. Let me draw.
More.
Okay. Four card. Cool, man. So you should increase by 4. Nope. But I don't know what's happening. I feel like you should have gone +4. What are you doing? What are all these trump cards you're using? Oh my god, whatever, I don't care. I'm just gonna draw.
Another.
Okay, I'm fine. I'll let you win so you can see the death animation if you agree to me winning. No, Thorel, no, don't. I want to win. I want just play regular. I will win. Watch me win. I will win regularly by beating you at your utmost. Look, I'm gonna draw. Bang. And now. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna look away. So the Thorel doesn't see what my current number is.
I'm gonna stay.
Okay.
I'll stay.
And now I win. Bang. 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 My first video I saw from you was the fanboy video. Most people's first hydro video. No, it's simply incorrect, man. Bro, yo. What? I will get a normal audience and I will get my sponsors back. Okay? I have lost out on mad sponsors by doing these videos. I'm gonna get it back. I'll fix it. Okay? Trust. Oh my god. Like I'm set. Like this is perfect. Not back here quick announcing your total. Oh my god, bro. You do it thorough. You do know I'm streaming. Of course I gotta announce what I'm doing. Okay, look. Oh wait, don't I have a card for this? No, I don't. Do I? Nope, never mind. I'll stay. Use trump cards to increase bet. Yeah, I don't have a perfect number for it. Hold on. Trump card. Ooh, wait, I could do this, then I could do this, right? Sure. Boom. Use it. Now stay. Thank you. Hold on. Oh, you can use multiple in one term. Oh, I didn't know that. What? Go for 27? Whatever, man. Whatever. Look. It's fine. Because I'm going to win anyway. What? Wait. Oh, wait. If I do this, will it get rid of his... Oh! Can you use another one? Wait. Bang. If I do this...
I'll keep this.
When do my cards get used up? These two I have over here. What? He's gonna win. What? Bro. Oh my god, right? This game sucks. This game sucks. This game sucks. This game sucks. How many lives do I have left? Is that it? No, I still have one more life, I think. I don't know, man. Yeah, it says I have one. You do have 13 lives? Is that what that says? That's crazy. There's no way. I refuse to believe that. That's incorrect. Just give me a card. Yes, I'm the GOAT. That's crazy. How? How's that possible? Are you cheating? Bro, this is bullshit. I'm gonna eat my brain. I need to keep myself energized, y'all.
Hit me.
Was it my turn? Shit.
One more.
Yeah, I'll just draw. Can I draw again? In one turn? No. Okay. Oh. Dude, whenever I fuck down coffee, I don't feel like eating. But I know I have to eat. Do I win if he just doesn't do shit? Oh. You're not gonna win that way, man. You're not gonna do it twice in a row. You're just not. Watch this. Bang. Bang.
Hit me.
Bang. Bang. Don't fuck with me. Stop playing with me. Brother, that's literally better for me. Sure, you do your thing. Oh, wait. He's probably closer. Wait, hold on. Wait. What? Oh my god. I should have known. Okay, my bad. Fuck it.
I'll keep this.
Boom. Boom. I feel like I win. You have to eat eating for pussies, ruin, stop to that. No. Oh my god. You're not winning this, by the way. You're not winning this with a bullshit strategy. Stop. Wait. Oh, wait. Yeah, that's not gonna do anything, is it? That's not gonna work. What? What? Why did you pull me over? What? Can I not undo?
I'll stay.
Fuck this. No, if I don't eat, I'll just go slowly. I'll go slowly non-verbal over time, and then I'll just... And then the stream will get boring. I got one friend. Bro, fuck this. Fuck this. Like, you have to have a higher score than me. Can I force you to draw something? No, I can't. Fuck, man. I can't do shit, right? I just lose now? Oh, he lost more than me. Surely you lose, right? What? Why me? Oh, yeah, it's going to him. Thank you. I'm gonna switch games after this. Yeah, I am. For some reason, he has 10 lives. I don't know how. But yeah, this is gonna be a long ass round. Because of course I'm gonna win, so I have to slowly go through his 10 rounds. 10 lives. Oh. Okay. That's my trump cards. Yeah, I'll just do this. Bang.
I'll stay.
Wait, shit, wrong move. Fuck, I'm a dumbass. I am a dumbass. Why'd I do that? Now I'll do this.
One more.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes. Play knockout after this. Never got to play the game I recommended. What? Steal a baddie? I'm not playing no steal a baddie, man. I'm sorry. Wait, hold on, hold on. Let me lock in here because I want to win this. Do I have a perfect... this is pretty close. Now? Yeah.
I'll keep
Yep.
this. I'll keep this.
He's gonna win, isn't he? Fuck you. Fuck you. You're a piece of shit. You get off. Oh my god, bro. This guy. Man, GG. Fuck you. I beat you in dueling grounds, and that's higher skill. So I'm better. Oh, fuck you. Yeah. This fucking guy. This fucking. Stalls RNG is hard if you want to get good stuff. It's gambling, but you can't lose. Cry about it, man. Fuck you. Yeah, I don't get this game. If I knew this game, I would be winning. Okay, I don't, which is why I'm losing. Does this game have its own like ripoff of Rocket League? I feel like it should, right? Because we're gonna play Rocket League later, so I want to Rocket Wheel is what it's called. Okay, because I want to play Rocket League on stream later. I don't figure this out. What? Standard, give me standard, yes. Oh my god, yeah, this is standard controls. What the fuck? Hold on. Can I just play? Stop giving me this bullshit. What? Let me play. Outro in progress? What? Bro. No, Roblox is man. Match in progress. Can only one match occur at any one time? That's crazy. That's crazy garbage. No, 95 people are playing. What? Play. There we go. Thank you. It's some shitty website you play on, school looking game. Bro, I'm not gonna play a Souls RNG thing. It sounds like some long ass game. There's a bunch of games on Roblox that are like long ass games that you'll need to play a bunch. Like okay, anyway, whatever. AI images, seriously. I'll go for speed, I guess. Robux, are we dead ass? Basically, you AFK for hours. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, why would we play an AFK game, man? It's just not the player now. Yo. Why's my mouse on screen? Bro, this is garbage. This is shit. This is shit, man. Yeah, you should just play. Yo, regular Rocket League is free, by the way. Yo, if you try and turn while moving. Wait. Hold on. Ooh. Yeah, regular Rocket League is free, yo. Yeah, this is garbage. Why is my mouse on screen too? Okay. How do I boost? What's the boost button? Wait, did I just score with that? Wait, hold on. Yeah, regular Rocket League is free, by the way. Where am I going? You fuck. Yo, I clipped out of the map. Okay, yeah, this is ass. This is hot ass. Wait, fuck you. Ooh. I don't understand why anyone would play. Yeah, why do you keep clipping out of the map, man? Oh my fucking god. Yo, this is insane. Who is playing this? Who is playing this shit? Okay, me, but like, I mean, you know what I mean. This sucks. This game is garbage. Wait, hold on. I want to get at least one goal though. Wait, come on. Hold on. I got this. Ooh. Stop. How do you boosting? What's the boost key? Oh, it's click. Okay. Yo, bro. I know this sucks, man. Let me get at least one goal. Wait, hold on. Bro. Hold on. Just give me a sec. Okay, he's literally gonna score. Guys, what are my teammates doing? It's my teammates. My teammates suck. This is, in case y'all don't know, yeah, this is like some ripoff of Rocket League. But clearly my teammates suck and not me. Bro, what was that? What was that? The ball clipped into me. Y'all saw that? Y'all saw that? That was not me. Bro. Well, oh fuck, yo, you can't turn normally, by the way. Just come, man, please. Stop, my teammates are bumping into me. Are we dead ass? Yo. This is embarrassing. This is garbage. This is this is so bad. Rocket League is a free mobile game? That's crazy. Who is playing this shit? Then literally, what is the incentive to play this shit over like... Bro, please. Yo, why are you bumping it away from their goal, bro? What are you doing? Yo, I know y'all saw that. Your car just does not move where you want it to. Please bump it to the other goal, bro. Please. This is so bad. Please. Oh, yeah, fuck. I'm getting the fuck out of here. Yo, there are people that are playing that. Seriously. That's crazy. That is insane to me. 3008? Sure. Look, the idea behind this was to play against you guys, by the way, but as with every Roblox stream, it just sort of just goes off the rails and whatever the fuck happens. Is this a horror game? Furniture store. Oh, SCP 3008. Okay. Oh, I've played this before. Not fun. What do I do? Wait, let's... We are about to hit the 3-hour mark. You're meant to go until at least a 4-hour mark. What do we got next? Next is Elden Ring, and that's at 6. It's currently 4:30. Okay, we got an hour and 30 minutes more of doing whatever the fuck. Hold on. Geometry Dash World. Incentive is to be mobile players and small children. Yeah, you're probably right. Yo, Protector, man. Thanks for a Twitch follow. Uma Racing. Sure. After this shit. Racket Rivals. Oh, Racket Rivals is fire. But we've done that too much though on these streams. You know what I mean? Alright. Holy shit. It has its own ripoff of Geometry Dash. Just play Geometry Dash, man. There's literally a mobile version. Every level's literally named the same as well. That's insane. I used to play this a fuck ton when I was like a baby, by the way. When I was like a tiny ass kid. Geometry Dash is better? I mean, probably. It even has its own remix of the music. I used to play this shit a bunch when I was a kid, bro. This was the first game like I seriously played. I remember like we had like this cool learning trip to Malaysia once, and for like the entire duration of the trip, I was like 11 years old. This was like 2014. The entire duration of the trip, I was just on my phone playing Geometry Dash. Dude, those are fond memories, man. Oh, the coin, dude. I remember this level. Fuck. This is like my childhood game, man. The music's actually their own remix. Hold on. Then there's a triple jump over here, right? Watch this. Bang. Oh my god, I even remember where the coins are! That's crazy, man. Wait, do I first try this? There's a coin up there, but I'm not taking it because that one's a risky coin. This is crazy, bro. The muscle memory just kicks in, man. I still got it. That's the level. First try. Holy shit, man. Bro, this was my shit in primary school. Yeah, primary school. Like 2014-ish was when I played this. Damn. Dude, that's crazy. Okay, let's go to the hardest level. I remember clearing Time Machine, so I think Cycles was where I was done. It's easy as shit. I know. Oh my god. Wait, okay. I'm pretty sure this is where I quit. Yeah. Anyway. Like after this level, I don't know, I was basically done with primary school. By the time I was like, okay, I gotta press and hold there. Like after, while I was doing this level was when I found Overwatch. And then I became a PC player. Ooh. 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 Do you remember? Dude, the frames are tearing. Oh, the screen's tearing. What the fuck? Wait, what's this? I forgot. Wait, what's... Oh, okay, it's this. I forgot. Yeah, alright. It's been too long since I've done this. It's been too long. It's been too long, y'all. Let me do the hardest one. Dude, they got like their own remixes of Geometry Dash songs. What's the hardest one? Oh my god. Do I remember this level? I think I tried it ages ago. Okay. Okay. Alright. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna take a minute. Yeah, okay. Alright, okay. Yeah, okay. Please, bro, please. I gotta get at least 10% armor fraud. Please, bro, please. Bro, what? Why is happening? Yo, okay. I see the trick. I see the trick. I gotta time it right. Oh my fucking god. There's 3 tricks here. Yo, I'm getting pissed off. Stop! Stop! Oh my god. Okay. See, now this is starting to piss me off. Stop, bro. Stop. I see the trick. Stop. You gotta time the clicks perfectly, man. Fuck this. This isn't even a skill thing. This is like... There we go. Thank you. Oh my fucking god. The whole level is just this bullshit. This is garbage. Like this... at this point in the game is when you're just playing slop. You know, right? At this point in the game is when you're just playing slop. You're not even playing a game anymore. You're just like... It's just a game of like, how perfectly can you time your clicks? Oh my god. Dude, stop. Yo, look at that. Okay. Click. Wait. Click. Nope. Click. No, okay, don't click. Okay. Click. Okay. I got it. Click. Click. No, not double click. Click. Okay, sure. Click. No double click there. Click. Click. Please, bro, please. Click. Click. What the fuck? There's the invisible spike. Yeah, I'm not doing this. Yeah, fuck that. Fuck you. Watch Zodiac video. It's my hardest, please. I don't know what you're talking about. That sounds like alien who heebie-jeebie nonsense to me. Hexagon for... Yeah. You know what? I'm done with this. Give me the fuck out of here. No, for nostalgia though. I remember the level that I struggled the most on was Can't Let Go. Yeah. I remember this. I had like over 2,000 attempts in our primary school. Oh my god. Can I first try this? Oh my god. No, I can't. Fuck this. I'm pissed. If I don't second try this, I'm a bum and a loser and a fraud and a little bitch. Come on. Oh my god, bro. Please. I had like this was the hardest level for me. Like even like harder levels after this, I didn't take as long. This was the level that I struggled the most on. I remember I had like 2,000 attempts. Yo, oh my god, yeah. This, yeah. Fuck this. It's cause it's in Roblox. Like, are we dead ass? Oh, I remember the song for this was fire. I think there's a coin there, whatever. Oh, hold on. Oh, fuck, that was a plane. Shit, I forgot. Fuck, you're a good singer. Thanks, man. Wait, I can do this. I can do this for second try. Hold on. Yo, what is happening? What was that? Why did I just jump with the spikes? My bad, my bad. Wait, I can do this. I can do this. Don't click off, y'all. Give me a sec. Watch goat in action. The legends say that goats are only found in the wild. Little did you know, you can see one. You can find one at twitch.tv/hydrope. Should I go for the... Oh my god, why am I going for the coin? This is embarrassing. I don't think there's a coin there. Please, bro, please, 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 please. Don't click off, y'all. Don't click off. Don't click off. Stop, 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 stop. Stop. Yo, speaking of clicking off, guys, I had a dream about this stream, by the way. If anyone, if y'all are around in September, I know a couple of you were, Thorel, Flames, and like a few lurkers over here. Fucking that stream didn't go well. You know, it's like when it comes to like long streams, my motive was like to go for bigger and bigger streams. Like you know, like my first long stream, I went for 8 hours, and then I went for 12, and then I went for 30, and then I was like, fuck it, go big. I'll do a week-long stream. Yeah, I'll do a subathon, and the subathon I expected it to go for a week, and it probably would have if I didn't plan it horribly. Everything just went wrong. Everything just went wrong. And then I stayed away from the long stream for ages. But you know. So I was like, no, this stream has to go perfect. Fucking dreaming about it, bro. Yeah, no. I was playing Elden Ring. Yo, why do I keep dying at this? This is embarrassing. Bro's almost done and got gifted 10 subs. Yeah. You know, bye, right? I honestly should have continued that stream. But, yo, what am I doing? I honestly should have continued that stream way back then. But, literally, what am I doing? Yeah, no, I decided that, like, yeah, no, I can't keep the stream going. It sucks. See, since then I've learned the importance of not being complacent. Not being a little wussy CC bitch. Hold on. Dude. Anyway, when it comes to streaming, bro, I really gotta lock in, man. Like, you can't neglect streaming, you know? When it comes to YouTube, you can just be not disciplined and you'll be fine. As long as you're putting out good content, like, you can upload it as few times as you want. You will make it as a YouTuber. As long as, you know, you're making good content. Even if you're super inconsistent, you need zero discipline for that. Okay, let's not die the same place. But for Twitch, you know, you just gotta stream. Yeah. I've been too casual about Twitch, you know. Oh my god, there's a coin there. Bro, this color scheme hurts my eyes. Oh. Oh, dude, this sucks because my guy is green too. This is kind of easy as shit. I'm not gonna lie. Or maybe it's just because I'm goated. Oh my god, triple jump, seriously. Oh, never mind. I'm goated. I'm goated. You sounded depressed in our final segment. I was, dude. I was. I remember like that stream for last year. Anyway, I'm goat. Hey, drop a gift for this one. If you fuck with this, drop a gift, y'all. Drop a gifted. I'm goat. 10 attempts. Okay, that's embarrassing. Can't forget this was Roblox. This is really this is just a straight rip of Geometry Dash, man. There we go. Okay, do we want to back out of this? do we want to dip? Because we are just... This is technically still Roblox, but it's really not Roblox anymore. What else do we do? Why does it give me outfit games? What is this? Outfit... Speaking of outfit games, we have to... Oh, wait. No worries. My friends, I'm your hero. I'll accept your invites. Wait, fellas. if you're playing, if you're talking about outfit games, we gotta do the outfit game, the outfit game. Yeah, yep. Let's go. I will try finding use of horror games, bro. Speaking of horror games, I posted one TikTok of like the goth backrooms video. It did really fucking well, man. Like I got 20k likes, 150k views. It's crazy how easy you get views when you do horror games, especially on TikTok. Yeah, I really got to lock in on I gotta do more horror stuff. I gotta lock in on so much stuff. Okay, hear that? Bro, you stole my booth, you bum. Flames, fuck off. Okay. What theme is favorite item? I give myself a pink skin tone because I feel like the women would fuck with this. Yo, what is my posture? What is that posture? Do y'all see that? What the fuck is that? Okay, a favorite item theme. Okay, what's QT? This game fucking sucks. Yo, this is an alpha male game, man. Like this is the kind of game this is the kind of game Stalin would play in his free time, you know what I mean? Favorite item. Oh, we need some fucking cool ass thing on our head, right? Let me put on a fucking... Yo, put that on my head, bro. Bam. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I instantly lost a bunch of viewers, bro. Hopping on this shit. Oh, guys, this game... Yeah, guys, y'all are fucking dressed to impress. Guys, it's dressed to impress, y'all. Oh yeah, this is matching. I mean, we gotta do that, right? I feel like I want some Lululemon leggings to this. Hold on. Stalin, the Soviet leader. Yeah. Can you not imagine him playing this in his spare time? I need some Lululemon leggings. It's what I can see with this fit. Lululemon leggings. Is that a thing around here? Like some tight ass... Oh yeah, there we go. What is that? Those are fishnets. What the fuck? No, not that. Is that not a thing in this game? Oh my god, my fashion sense is too advanced. Too advanced, really. It sucks being the man I am. I think that's it. Those are just stockings, man. Wait, change the color? Oh yeah, yep. That's the shit. I'm losing brain... Fuck you mean losing brain cells, man? Oh my god. Y'all don't appreciate GOAT. Oh yeah, eyes. I mean, can I just go with default eyes? What? I have to buy facial features? That's crazy. What? Custom? That is bullshit. Okay, wait, I'm doing it wrong. This was not always a thing. What's happening? What? You have to buy it now? So what? Okay, that's okay. Wait, hold on. That's insane. Greedy ass game, bro. This was not always a thing. Did they change something? Oh wait. Okay, it was covered up. Okay. Let's just go with... Holy fuck, yeah, we're not doing that. Yeah, let's go with default. Yo, why it look like that, bro? Okay. There we go. Good. Space to exit. Okay. Exit. We need hair. Yes, hair. Yes. Some shit like this. White hair. Oh yeah. No, don't give me that. Give me white. Yeah. Oh, I'm Slay Queen. Yep, that's me. Color your nails here. Let me color my nails. No one's looking at no nails, bro. Fuck that. Yo, give me like pants, man. I'm walking around in my fucking boxers. What is that? Pants. Ariana Grande looking at... Yeah. Look, I need something to cover my shit up. I'm too like exposed. Ideally, I would have leggings, but whatever. Let's see what work. Oh, we got a minute. Y'all. Fuck. A skirt. Do you want to do a skirt, y'all? Yeah. Look at her fit. She sucks. Oh, pants. There it is. Okay, okay. Here we go. We don't want to cover up the stocking, so we'll go with like... Do you want a pencil skirt? Those same boxes? I don't know what that is. We got spats, I guess it's called. No, this looks basic as fuck, bro. Look at what we got on right now. So basic. That is not Slay Queen. I mean, I guess I can turn it white. But now it just looks garbage. Bro. Sponsor this family-friendly streamer playing Dress to Impress. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Thara. I always knew... Fuck, I'm running out of time. Wait. Let me take off some stuff. Wait. It looks stupid. It looks stupid. Fuck. Fuck it. Whatever. Look, I'll go with this. Oh my god, I'm Slay Queen. I'm so Slay Queen. I'm so... Nope. Shit. Oh my god, didn't even change. This is one of you, isn't it? Didn't even change your skin tone. 2 stars. 2 stars. You didn't even change your skin tone. You're blue. What do you drink too much colloidal mercury? Get the fuck out of here. Look at this guy. That's embarrassing. Why are there 2 of y'all? Did you steal my fit? There's no... I mean, this is me, but worse, really. 3 stars. Fuck you. Imagine stressing over Dress to Impress. This is the game to stress over. I'm also rapidly losing viewers. Fuck all y'all. Oh my god, bro. What is this? Yo, we got fucking Tinkerbell? This is embarrassing. Fucking Tinkerbell? Are we dead ass? I mean... No. 2 stars. Check Discord. Mango, I've seen... Yo, the video is still not up on the drive. Just take your time uploading, man, if it's difficult for you, alright? It's just not there. You don't need me to tell you that, bro. Okay, you know what, this is kind of basic, but at least you've done the basics, I guess. Sure, you get 4. Well, look at that face, man. What is that? Ass. Doesn't even go with the fit. Bro, where am I? Where's my guy? Oh my god, we got Bumblebee? Get the fuck out of here. Bumblebee turned from car to woman. And it doesn't even match with the fit. The blue pants and with yellow skin, what are you doing? Voting complete, where am I? Okay, not yet. Okay, yeah. Okay, see, now this is decent. This is simple, but like, at least it wasn't ass. So, sure, you get 4 stars. Why no fanboys? Okay. I feel like you could probably make a fanboy in this game. Oh my god, dude, I actually clear. Bro, I'm actually so much better than everyone else, man. It's not even close. Bro, come on. Guys, look at this. Am I not just better? Is this not just better? Oh, he did has. Look, this is better, dude. Come on, man. Oh my god, look at this. What is this fit? We got green. We got blue. Like, we got pink. Like, this is just ass. Favorite item? What does it even mean as a theme? What is my favorite item? I don't know. I just made a good fit. For like a snow fit. Whatever, I better win. Yo. Alright, cool man. Yeah, we get it. Post 28. We get I should have post, man. No, I get... Oh, you need to pose with your thing. So you get a high... I see. You need to pose as your favorite item and yours is a pumpkin. Okay. Anyway, I should have won anyway. I was slaying. 2nd place. Don't play with me, man. Alright, let's get the fuck out of this game because I'm losing viewers. Dude, why y'all hate that much, man? It's not that bad. Okay. Fine. I've dipped. Alright. I got 2nd place though. Let's go, y'all. Let's go. Let's see. What shall we do? I love makeover show. It got... Yeah, enough with the girly stuff. Okay, we've done that. That was nice. From 20 to 11 is crazy. Yeah, it is, dude. I was trying to Dress to Impress, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's low-key It's you. Motherfucker. It's you. It's you. It's you. Bee Swarm Simulator. Sure. We'll do this after this. Wait. It's you. This is easier. This is easier. I'll tell you this right now as someone who's played the original. This is easier. Your guy actually has weight in this. Like, you need to build up momentum. This is easier. I'll tell you this right now. This is easier. Much easier. Oh my god. Because your guy needs to build up weight here. So it's like easier to control your guy's momentum. No. Oh my god. The kids are gonna play this version of Getting Over It, and then they're gonna tell people, oh, I actually could be getting over it if I wanted to. No, you couldn't. No, you couldn't. This is generally so much easier. Oh my god, because you can just build up momentum. Because your guy has actual weight in this. So it takes a second for momentum to build up. Yeah. Can I join you somehow on this? I mean, you probably could send me like a friend request, man. I'll accept all of it. No worries. Oh, and the look at that. Look at that. Your hammer can just go through you with no resistance. Yeah, dude, this is actually miles easier. God damn. Dude, my mouse keeps clipping on the screen. Oh my fucking god. This is this is actually embarrassingly easy. God damn. Hold on. This is cathartic for me in a way. This is cathartic. And the ledges are just easier to grab. Bro, this is cathartic for me in a way. From playing the original, I play the easy version. Oh my god, this makes me feel good. Getting under it. Okay, enough of that. My mouse keeps keeping on the screen. Okay, what'd you say? Bee Swarm Simulator? Sure. Swarm Simulator. Sure. Dude, how can Queso play Dressed to Impress and I can't? You know what I mean? No, actually, I know the answer to the question. He's family friendly. I'm not. Fuck this, man. I need to up my family friendly game, man. I need to. Welcome to Bee Swarm Simulator. You call it pollen. Is this a tycoon? It's a tycoon. This is a tycoon. Brother, you're making me play a tycoon. Continue. Yes. I do not want to listen to none of your law. Oh my god, there's a bunch of bullshit. Brother, you got me playing a tycoon. It's a simulator. Brother, you are not gonna... I'm not about to play a tycoon, man. I used to play this when I was 8. Bro, y'all want to know what I used to play when I was 8? Shit, it was so long ago, was it? There's like this one Pokemon tycoon. Was it Pokemon? I remember. Dude. I remember it was like some one Pokemon tycoon, was it? Fuck, I used to be in that shit. I remember, dude. God damn. Yeah, I used to play shit, bro. One thing is simping for fanboys is family friendly. Look, I'll work on it. Okay, I'll slowly bring it out of fanboy stuff. I feel like sponsors don't really have anything against fanboy stuff. It's more about you know, making it sexual, you know what I mean? When you were 8, Roblox wasn't a thing. Yeah, it was. No, not when I was 8. I must have been like 12. I don't know. I was a kid. If the fanboys leave, I'll leave. No, I'll probably be doing fanboys for the foreseeable future. It's part of my brand. But, you know, less of the sexual stuff. I can't just like pull up to a video and be like, I'm going to have sex with you anymore. You know? I'll keep it not wholesome, but like keep it chill. Wait, I've seen clips of this on TikTok. Word bombs. Wait, we should do that instead. Wait. Hold on. Oh my god, dude, we gotta be quick. Wait, what? Are these the only two playing right now? How do I do this? Oh, these are competing with each other. Just type dear, bro. How do I play as well? How do I join? How do I start? What? How do I join? Do I have to wait for them to like die? Guys, can y'all lose? Y'all suck. Okay, can I make a private world? Fuck this. I'm not waiting for no bomb. Wait, hold on. Word bomb. Private. Please tell me it's free. Please, please, please. Let's go. Okay, let's go. Gotta wait for them to finish and join the new lobby. Hell no, I'm making a private. Connections allowed. Yes. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Hop in my private world, y'all. Wait. Join. Let's go. I'm not waiting for no motherfucker. Man like me, I do it myself. Join in. Join y'all. Join my world. Join my world. Let's go. Click to join. I'm in. I'm in. Yes, everyone join. All y'all join. All y'all can hop in. I'm gonna be the last man standing, by the way. I'm just letting y'all know. Like, there's no way I'm losing to y'all. Brother, I could help you out here, but I'm not going to. Is this me? No, it's not me. I could help you out here, but I'm not going to. Dusk. There we go. Don't do COCK. Alright. Can you actually do COCK? Is that allowed? He blurred it. Okay. Bam. Okay. I'm not gonna lose. I'm not gonna lose. I'm just letting y'all know I'm not losing this. I'm not losing this. I'm not losing this. Look, you guys might not know this, but before I was bro, just type boy or something. Bro, but before I was a YouTuber, I was first successor as a novelist. I'm not losing. I'm not losing. It's not happening. I was a novelist. Bro, type germanium. That's crazy. Once again, I'm not losing. They allow racial slurs. Yeah. Ooh, you could have typed one there. Thank fuck you didn't. Oh wait, now I can type this right. Yep. There we go. Hey, what's good, Milo? How you doing, man? Yeah, I'm not losing. I'll make this simple. I'm not losing this. I'm not losing this. This is not happening. Can one of y'all die though? Like, this is starting to get embarrassing. Two of y'all are one life though. What? I mistyped it. Okay, never mind. It's fine. You can make a spelling error. You just can't run out of time. Okay, I see. No wonder hydroplaying is exactly. I'm a demon. I'm a demon when it comes to the English language. Let's go. Let's go, y'all. If you lose, gift one subs. Okay, if y'all lose, gift one sub. If y'all lose, you gift one. Sure. Loser, gift subs. Sure. I got it. Ooh. That's gotta hurt, brother. Oh, Jackstream, thanks for the follow, man. We are doing Roblox. Oh, he's dead. You can just type off, right? Oh. Penis? Yep. Oh, you're about to die, brother. And... Ooh. Flames, you're really whipping out the big words, huh? Oh well, okay, you can do that. Stitch gay or something. Okay. I'm not losing yet, by the way. Yuck. There we go. Let's go. Cat web. Okay, we are doing this right now. We are doing this for gifted subs. We got money on the line here. Bro, Flames, you and your big ass words, bro. This guy. Let's go. Let's keep going. I'm stupid. Thanks for the follow, man. Well, I just read that out, my dumbass. Oh, you're dead. Dude, why is... Come on. Oh, you're dead. Oh, he's dead. Flames, I'm not losing. I'm not losing. Wait, what? I'm spelling it wrong. FROG, yeah, there we go. Oh, fuck. I'm not losing. I refuse. I'm not losing. This ain't happening. What? Oh, no repeat words. Oh, I'm spelling wrong. Oh, that was close. Bam. Oh, Flaves. Oh, Flaves. You're someone, aren't you? Oh, you're someone. You're someone. I'll give you that. A worthy opponent. Not quite my match, though. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck! I want to type Ernest, but I forgot how to spell it. Okay, okay. Oh, bro. Wait, no. I can't lose. I cannot lose. I'm a novelist. 250,000 views across all my books. I can't let this happen. I cannot. 250,000 on the line. Please. 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 I don't know how to spell that. Oh my god, I got that. M's, Embers. What? What? Embers doesn't work, bro. Fuck you. But that's bullshit. Again, we are running that back. I don't like that. That's bullshit. That is bullshit. That's nonsense. I don't fuck with that. I disagree. I fundamentally disagree. Fuck you, please. I'm a novelist. I gotta, no, please. I was on the front page of the website I was using for a while. Wait. Oh, that was my turn, my bad. I was on the front page. No. Fuck. Bro, if I lose, I'm not a sore loser. If I lose, I gotta drop money, man. And I got my pride on, like, fuck. Okay. Oddity show. Oh my god, man. This fucking blows, bro. I gotta lock in. Bro, this is not hot. That's embarrassing for you. Bro, that nerd. Oh my god. Idiot. Okay. It's fine. I got it. It's fine. I'm not losing again. That's a one-time thing. Oh yeah, Bob, thanks for the follow, man. I lost once. I let that happen. I'll say it out loud. I wasn't warmed up. I was yipping and yapping. Dark. Okay. Alright, fine. I'll admit. DNO. Alright. Icicle. Okay. Alright, that's fine. I gotta remember that the two letters don't have to be like the letters they're talking about don't have to be close to each other. Like it can be the D and O don't have like if the word is like R and K, the words don't have to, it doesn't have to be like dark. It can be like rock, you know what I mean? The words don't have to be right beside each other. I remember that. Like okay, brick. Like for instead of IC, I could have done. Oh, I could have done kick, but that's. I could also done. I don't know actually. But you get the idea. Hydropsia. Hey, what's good, man? Melo, how you doing, man? Oh my god, that's embarrassing. Oh, that's embarrassing. You died to OD. Ugly. Either way, I got this in the bag. Bro, how can you do hugs, man? I did Embers last round and he didn't give it to me. That's insane, man. I should have gotten that. I stand by that. I should have gotten it. But whatever. Oh, there we go. Oh well, it's fine. I'll let that happen. I'll let that slide. I'm pretty sure knowledgeable is typed wrong here, but it's fine. I'll give him credit. You see about he's dead. You died to EG. You could have said eagle or something. Night faded. You gotta lock in. You gotta lock in. Okay. I see. Call. I'll use the same word. Play cat web. Okay, yeah. After this. Give me a sec. Wait, I already done this. What? Oh, my bad. Oh, you can't repeat. Fuck. Now this is embarrassing for me. You did the same thing with an S. Fuck you. I forgot you can't repeat words. Oh, my bad, man. Oh my god. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. What? Bro, this sucks, man. I'm unfamiliar with this game, bro. Oh my god, man. Fuck this. Man. That's not an English thing. That's a game thing, bro. VA. Oh, you did. Oh, you don't know what to type. Vanish or something, man. Oh, that's embarrassing. Okay. Oh, ooh, you can try an interesting word here. Something to do with men. Oh, okay. Yarn. There we go. Arcade. Slow as brain. Thorough. It's fine. You're simply not my level. It's alright. It was good unregistered. How you doing, man? Anyway, I'm not losing twice in a row. Alright, I've lost a life, but it's fine. I'm not losing another one. Knowledges? Oh my god. Elk. Yo, you really can just stick S at the end of so many words. Beryllium? Oh my god, using elements to cheat flames? Flames, you motherfucker. This guy. Okay, it's not cheating. You know what? It's smart. It's fine. It's fine. I'll give you that. I'll give oh, bro. Yo, hit him with the titanium, brother. Damn. No, that's smart. Honestly, you can't even fault that. I'm doing alright. You? Yeah, I'm chilling, you know, dropping a 24 hour. Work. With men, you mean with Sam Boys? No. That guy earlier had SC for as his letters, S and E. That's like seaman. You know what I mean? You get the joke. It's a cum joke. Most. It's a cum joke in case you don't get it. I know. Dude, I need Flames to fuck up, man. I need Flames to fuck up. He's like the real threat here. The motherfucker just kept going, bro. You really can't just use elements to cheat, bro. Okay. Phrase. What? He has an eye. Think. Oh my god. Okay, so the words do have to be right beside each other. Damn. Darm Stadium? What is that? You have a periodic table beside you. That is not. That's not real. That's not real. That's not real. What is that? What is that? This motherfucker has a periodic table pulled up in front of him. He's playing from his study table right now, and he's got a periodic table in front of him. This guy. No way. It's fine. Okay, I see how it is. Ever. Okay. No, it's alright. It's alright. No, that's fine. It's alright. Look, I'll let that slide. This guy. And polonium, yeah. Oh my fucking god, fuck you. No, actually, okay. Maybe you're a chemistry major or something. Okay, that might make sense. Oh, there you go. Fucking hell. Sigma. All right, no. It's fine. Look, I'll bring it back. I might be like low on lives right now, but it's fine. I'll live. Over. Oh, I am surprised these guys are still going. What are you typing, brother? You should have yo, enough with the long ass words, man. Yo, he's trying to flex. Yo, he's trying. He's trying to stunt on us right now. He's trying to stunt on us with these long ass words. Yo. No, okay. You think you're hot shit? I see. No, I see what you're trying to do. No, that's fair. I see. No. Okay, now keep trying, brother. Motherfucker. What was that one word he used? Darmanstium? That is not a word, real word. How many fucking words do you have? Side. I got words on words, brother. I'm surprised the other guys haven't died yet, though. Like, goddamn. Okay, okay. It's fine, it's fine. Jelly. Bam. Whoa, your phone, that's not UH is a word? Okay, brother. Okay. Alright. True. I died. Why did I go for osteoporosis? I could have done like why did I go for osteoporosis? What could I have done with OS? Pros. I could have done pros. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing for me. I need to see Flames die. Okay, Flames died. Oh my god. Okay, whatever. I'll gift a sub. I did say I'll gift a sub, so I'll gift a sub. I'm really gifting to myself right now. That's crazy. Okay, let me do this shit. How do I do this? Okay, while this round, I'll do this while the round runs, okay? Between these two, sure. You guys keep playing it out, okay? Let's do this. Oh wait, I can't show you guys my. Oh. Okay, let me quit out. Sure. Let me gift a sub. What was it? Channel. Oh my god, bro. I was talking mad crazy about some novelist. I'm a novelist. Oh my god. You know what? I deserve this. It's fine. See, this is humbling experience. $5, okay? There you go. Let me pay it. PayPal. Complete purchase. Yeah. Pass through. Yep, there you go. Hydro, thanks for the sub. Who did I give to? Who got the sub? Who was it? It's loading. Why is it playing twice? It's loading. It doesn't show. Who got the sub? If that game was a person, they'd be fat and annoying. Yo, you know what? I like that game. I like games like that. Yo, it's not loading. I can't see who got the game. I mean, who got the sub? But whatever. Yo, whoever got the sub, you're welcome. Okay, I was talking mad smack. Fair. You know what? I deserve to lose there. I got complacent. Fine. Fair. This is some bullshit. I had to lock you for the second round. Man, you know what? I'm not even that upset. I'm glad Flames died. Flames, you motherfucker. I'm glad you died. High school chemistry came with clutch. This guy, you have a periodic table in front of you. There's no way you pull Darman Stadium up from high school chemistry, man. That's not a thing. You have a fucking periodic table or some shit in front of you. But no, it's fine. Look, it's fine. I've learned from this experience. I've grown from this experience. I understand that even the greatest of men are unfailable. Okay, what's that game someone wanted us to play? Cat Bomb, was it? Cat Web? Okay, let's try that. We still have 40 minutes until we pull up to Elden Ring with Faye, so let's fuck around a bit more. Cat Web, let's see. Make a website. Okay. This is about these games? Okay. Oh, I gotta eat, man. Bro, this looks too professional. I'm getting... Are you out of your damn mind? You have a TOS. Clear up Sasha will interact with others. Follow Roblox TOS. No impersonation, no donations, abuse, exploits, political contents. I know. Okay. What the fuck? Reserve the right to make domain names available. So this uses real websites? This is just what I do at college. Bro, I have a website, by the way. Y'all know this? Don't go to it, by the way. It's not for y'all. It's for brands. I mean, you can if you want. It's public, but like, it's for companies to look at my sponsor profile. Anyway. Wait, this is crazy. So these are real websites? In here? It's not real websites. Okay. That would make more sense. So what's the point of this though? Unique domain name. Okay. No, I don't want this. Give me a different one. Do I have to do this? Burger data. Yes, thank you. What? So okay, so this is nice and all. I can see how this would teach children how to use websites. But why the fuck are we doing this? This is not a game. You are making... I used to play that in high school and would bullshit around those words. Oh, the word bomb thing? So that's why you knew those things. You motherfucker. Where'd you pull Darman Stadium out of, by the way? Like, where'd you get that? That's an insane pull, man. There is no reason why like a functioning human being should have that word in their bag. That is wild. You what? Oh wait, my bad. I logged out of Twitch for some reason. Hold on, give me a sec, y'all. My bad, y'all. Keep looking at my pretty face, alright? Give me a sec. Gmail.com. Is that the right email? And using passkey. Yep. Thank you. My bad, y'all. Give me a sec. iDrope. That's me. What? Oh my fucking god. Yo, my bad, y'all. Give me a sec. Oh, it's because I closed my browser. What the fuck? Give me a sec. My bad, y'all. Wait, let me see if I can get something going on screen. My pretty face, that is. Ho ho. Give me a sec. Just hold on. I logged out of Twitch for some reason. Password manager. And my chat closed. Okay, this is great. Check out your website. Do you want to check out his website, y'all? Sure, let's do that. Can y'all see that? Oh no, it's my camera's covering it. I have an invitation to check out his website. Nope, never mind. It doesn't let me click doesn't let me click his link. Okay, hold on, y'all. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Give me a sec. I gotta log in on my Twitch again. Twitch. I'm gonna go to my dash lane. Copy, paste. It didn't fucking work. Copy. What the fuck? Copy. Paste. What? Why? I'm copying, man. Control C. Control V. Thank you. Control C. Control V. Log in. Thank you. What's that receding hairline? I do not have a receding hairline. I have a full head of hair. Don't fuck with me. Don't fuck with me. This is as healthy as it gets. I wanna hear shit. My hair is garbage right now though, cause I got lazy to cut it, and so I grabbed a piece of scissors and I got a bit off my fringe myself. It's incredibly lazy. I really should just drop by the barber. This looked really bad, bro. Hold on, wait. I'm going to get an SMS on my phone. Where is this? I did not get an SMS. Where's my SMS? Hello? Let me just grab my phone. Never mind. My bad, y'all. Just give me a sec. Hold on. Authenticator app. Let me pull up my authenticator. Hold on, y'all. Just hold on. Look at me, pretty face, alright? 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember this device. Submit. My bad. I logged out of my Twitch. I can't see chat. There we go. That's fixed. Yeah, I had to fix my shit. My bad, y'all. My bad. I'm back now. Pookie's back. Alright. So what's this? You have me making a website? Why am I doing this? Okay, this looks very interesting. Can I click off? It's just a website. You know, there are real like website design UIs. Like the website editor tool for many websites like Wix.com or whatever have like similar UIs. The UIs can just hop on like just make a real website instead. Okay, but for now I'm gonna click off. All right. Oh wait, do actual websites work? Oh, it doesn't. Wait, what? Oh my god, this is bullshit. Are we dead ass? Are You can't pause it. It just plays. That's Clippy. What's Clippy doing on the side? What the fuck's happening? I see flight. Ads? Ads! 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 Ads on fit. Ads! Are we... What are we doing? What are we doing? A dream video? A dream video. What? Bad apple? No way, no way. Yo, this is insane. This is insane. There are ads. Actual ads. That's insane. So this is like a whole like... there's a whole ecosystem here. CatOS trustworthy news play. This is a whole ecosystem. That's crazy. This is basically a browser, but like it's like an intranet. It's like a internet in and of itself. It's a forum. It's a forum. It's a forum basically. Yeah, I think those are no blocks. Can I have the volume? I kind of fuck with this actually. That's crazy. Yeah, I'll just leave it play in the background. What was it? Boss fight the RBX is 1k Robux to pay it. Is this copyrighted? It isn't, right? There's no way. You can use it like Chrome. I can mute it. Look, I want my thing to play in the background. Wait, what? Oh, there's controls. What? Oh, I'm the guy at the side. Oh, it's like Undertale. Okay, I get it. It's Undertale. I feel like my music makes for better boss fight music. I'm just holding down the AD keys. Oh shit. Okay, my bad. Alright, see now I see this is all nice and all. Oh my god, okay, that's it. So you know what, I feel like I prefer this. Oh, it's Pan! Let's go, Pan! I'm pretty sure that's pen. I'm pretty sure that's pen. I'm pretty sure that's pen. Hold on, y'all.
Dope.
Pen. Let's go,
Why am
pen.
I seeing 6-7 on your screen right now?
Pen. I mean, it's Roblox. It's Roblox. Where it's everywhere on this platform. It's everywhere here, man.
What are you playing?
I'm on Roblox,
Diddy
man.
Mustard, bro. What do you? Yo, are you Diddy Mustard?
Yo, is Hydro Diddy Media? Is that it? Am I Diddy Media? No way. Am I Diddy Blood? No way. Yo,
Wait, so what's the plan for today's stream?
I mean, I was about to play. I managed to get like this one fanboy on, and we're about to play Roblox in 30 minutes. What do you?
Oh shit! Good luck on that. Am I wet?
What do you be on Roblox, Pen? Wait, give me a sec. Wait, let me. I don't think my streams met you. Fellas, this is Pen. It's like this dude on YouTube, and he hit me up one day. He was like, "Yo, what's good?"
What's up, chat?
Yeah, this is Pen.
What's up, chat? How you doing, y'all?
I say, yep. Anyway, do you be on Roblox, Pen?
I'd be on Roblox, yeah.
Yeah, what do you be playing? I know you'll be on Roblox. I've seen your
Bro, shut your ass.
you and your TikTok streams, man.
Bro, trust Salon de Fiestas, bro. Trust.
No, it's fire. It's fire. No, I'm not hating. I respect the grind. Where are
Or you
we?
could try some. Have you tried the obbies?
It's just parkour, no?
Yeah, it's parkour.
It's parkour.
Yo, Genghis. That's not true, bro. That's not true.
E-boy, he is, man. Like
Yeah.
he is as e-boy as it gets. You are one of those.
No. Yo,
You are one of those, bro.
bro, don't even start, bro. You're getting a fanboy right now in 30 minutes. Yo, don't even start with me.
Okay, look. Okay. What are you implying, man? What are you implying? Well, you got something against fanboys?
I'm implying that it's not for work. That's all I'm saying. I'm implying.
Oh, okay. No, I get it. No. Okay. I mean, that's fair. No, okay. Do I have you added on Roblox? Probably not, right?
Yo, how the?
Hold on.
No. How does chat know? How does chat know? Yo.
He Googled your name, bro. Hold
Yo, how does he know that title? How does he know that title, bro? Yo, what's up?
on. Yeah, nah. Yeah, you're one of those, bro.
Is that the fanboy? The keyboard
Yo,
person?
man, thanks for Twitch follow, bro. Yeah, nah, fan, you gotta log in. Wait, what's your
I'm gonna log in.
What's your Roblox what's your Roblox?
Gamer Alex 51. Yeah, I know. It's goated. Yeah, I know it's tough.
That's your Roblox name?
Yeah. Gamer Alex 51.
W names, bro.
Don't you have me added already? You have me
Mm,
added already.
doesn't look like it. I mean, I've sent a friend request to Pan Gamer Alex 51.
Oh, no, I see you. We fake now. No, we fake now. Yeah. You
Mm.
unadded me. Okay. No, I see.
I did not unadd you, man. Don't even start this bullshit. Oh my god, yo, this is like some e-boy behavior. Are y'all
I
see
got
this?
the
Oh
fanboy
my
guys speaking
god.
all that. I got it.
Yo, already pulling out the e-boy gaslighting is crazy, bro. I'm just saying, like, that's insane. It's fine though. You know what? Just because it's you, Pen, I'll let it slide.
Yo, everyone's on the Forge right now. You should play the Forge.
The who?
The Forge.
What's that? I'm
I have
kind
no
of
idea.
poop a big poop I've just seen on my screen. What the fuck is this? Okay, yeah, hop on. Oh, let's play some shit. What's Forge? Forge? Is that it?
Oh, you want to play something? Yo, we should play Yo, you're more on Roblox than me. What are you talking about? Yo, why are you asking me for game recommendations?
Wait, what'd you just say? I am more into Roblox than you. Is that what you just said?
Yeah, that's
Is,
what I said.
is that what you just said to me?
That's what I
The
said.
Pan loves me
Wait,
with this.
scroll
I'm
up,
gonna
scroll
show my.
up,
I'm gonna show
I
my
got
stream.
proof already. Scroll
My
up a little bit.
I'm gonna show my stream. Your TikTok streams, bro.
Why
like,
does it say continue just to impress? Yo, why does it say that on your Roblox?
Cause
Why does it say that?
cause I pop off in dress in prep is what I do. All right, I got second. I've tried it once. I got second place earlier in this stream. This very stream. I'm goated. Wait, well, first of all,
Why are you pulling up Jason Noe?
no. Sorry, that it just defaults there. Can I pull up your streams? Is that a thing it lets me do? It doesn't. You lucky motherfucker. You're lucky I can't do that.
Yeah, don't look at my repost. It's okay. Don't look.
Oh, I've seen it. It's all cat stuff, isn't it? Oh my god. You. Occasionally.
It's a little performance act, you know.
Yeah, I know. No, I know. No, I get it, man. This guy, actual, dude, this guy, actual e-boy, bro. He played Dress to Impress and half the
Yeah.
viewers left. Yeah, a fuck ton of people left when I played Dress to Impress, so I hopped off. It's crazy, bro. Anyway, okay.
Guys, I want you to play Cat Web. You should play that.
Play what?
Cat Web.
Cat Web? Yeah, I hopped on it. It's just like a website editor, isn't it? It's just like Wix.com, but in Roblox.
Oh.
Yep. Anyway, Pen, we got to play something. What are we doing?
Yo, actually, you should get a. Here, what is it called again? Let me bring it up. You get MCS ranked, MCSR ranked.
Minecraft.
It's like a Minecraft hardcore, but like you have to 1v1 each other.
No, I mean I'm familiar with MCSR rank, but that's in Minecraft, no?
That's Minecraft, yeah. Right now though, you could choose any game. I'll join you.
I'm doing Roblox though. Okay. I've seen this. I've just seen this thing. The typing game. What's this about? Are we just typing? I mean, I can type. Let me see what this shit's about. Hold on.
The typing game, yeah.
Let me make a private server actually. Let me get the fuck out of here. I don't want to play these 10-year-olds. Hydro played Dog
Alright,
Walk
log in.
with Pen.
I'll
Yo,
be back
I'm not-
after your femboy thing. Go
You,
get some stuff done.
you're dipping?
I'm gonna dip for a little bit because I gotta do laundry stuff.
You pick
But
up like
I'll call you back after your.
you put up like 10 minutes, man.
Yo, I'll be back though.
Look, if you hate me, just say it. All right. Bye, man.
You got a meeting in 15 minutes that for a fucking femboy. Yo, I just. You
I mean,
gotta get ready for that.
nah, you're right, Loki. You're right. I mean, I'll see you around.
You should be playing like a dating sim, not like Roblox. You just gotta be like you gotta be locked in.
No, you're doing Elden Ring, man. It's as romantic as it gets.
That's
It's romantic, bruh. You don't get
I
it.
never planned a day. Yeah, I never planned a day. I'm out of here.
It's romantic, bruh. Oh, is that you playing that shit? It's coming from the game. What the fuck? He left. Why is he coming? Why is the game playing this song? What the fuck? Wait, guys, I don't create party. Guys, hop in my party. Public. Does it not let me say to public? Whatever. Guys, hop in. Yo, how do I turn off this music, man? Why is it playing my ears? Play flames. Okay, I guess it's a 2-player thing. Okay. Oh my god, it's actually a type racer. Walking, continue, stand, athlete, cap. Oh my god, captain, thing with a brownie, sit down on the. Oh my god, space. Yo, journey, right, printer around. 47 is ass. I'm running that back. He got 52. Wait, we're doing that again. Can I do that again? Can I run that back? We're doing it again. Wait, that was nothing though. That's it. I'm not buns. Oh my god, we are running it back. We're running it back. I didn't know what's happening. King Eva Ning. Oh my god, I'm ass. On the program catch begin anything group forever diamond soldier letters center bang 54. I can get 70. I beat him though. I beat him though. Please, you are running back. Third time, let's go. Yeah, y'all hop in, y'all. Hey, let's go. This kind of sucks though, I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting something more. Which captain elevator dream ask continue. I'm getting worse. Blanket region keyboard library rolling Traffic. I'm getting worse. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this. Will you still be live in like 9 hours? I very much will. I'll be live for 21 more hours. 20 more hours about. Fuck this. Fuck this. Fuck this. I don't like games where I'm losing. We leave. Yeah, boring ass game anyway. Stupid ass typing ass game. Stupid. What do you do? I want to do something interesting, you know? Like, that was interesting. If there's a bit more to it, it would have been more interesting. You know what? Let me DM Faye right now. No, Ace. Let me DM Ace right now, see if he's up. Hey yo, Ace. Hey yo, Pook. You up? There we go. I'll shout him a DM. Okay, till then. Play Rivals on Roblox. We've done Rivals. Bro shoot. Yeah, we've done Rivals. We've already done Rivals. We want to do more. We want to do like interesting stuff. What's this? Like, this looks interesting. ISO ball. What's this about? Okay, see, now this what I like. I feel like when it comes to Roblox, okay, we can't make it private. I feel like when it comes to Roblox, bro, like the tiny games that no one plays are the good ones. Sub project, made for fun, got some bugs. Okay. Ball is ass after the first 5 levels. That is so loud. Holy shit. It's fine. Look, then we play the first 5 levels. Of course, he's playing games about balls. Oh my god, bro. I can't do anything anymore. How do I play this? What is this? What do I do? Oh, wait. Do I... Oh, I bridged the gap. I see. Is that Ace DMing me? Nope, it's not. It's Ren. I'm Ren. I'm not even gonna read that. Man, fuck you. Wait, I see the method here. Oh, wait. How do I undo? Undo. Dude, I'm being slandered in my DMs, man. Wait, hold on. How do I... Undo! Did you play Doors or Pressure? Getting balls in holes, I might add. Yo. How do I undo? I can't? Oh my god. Of course this... Oh my... Yo, delete it, bro. Yo, of course I'm gonna lose. Undo. Oh, right click. Okay. Here's what we do. Can I rotate? I can. Here's what we do. I'll do this. And then I'll do this. Bang. Dodge and pressure. Yeah. We've tried that. I want to try some new shit though. Like, look at this. I ain't never seen shit like this. Bang. Look at this. Hold on. Y'all ain't never seen shit like this. Give me a sec. Hold on. How am I gonna do this? Let's do this. I'll roll like this. Hold on. Ball go down here, and then we want this. Bang. We win. Y'all ain't never seen shit like this. Hey. Blade, you can't say stuff like that, man. Yeah, I gotta time you off for that. That's weird. That's straight up weird, bro. It's a Twitch chat. You gotta, you know, watch yourself a little bit. Okay, my bad, but I have to just a little bit. Wait. I gotta get better at timing people out. Wait, hold on. My Twitch chat does not work. Wait, give me a sec. Never mind, it's broken. Okay. Whatever. I hope that works. Whatever. Okay. Hold on. Let's figure this shit out. Wait, hold on. Oh, I can rotate. What's this do? Watch this. Bang. It'll hit the wall, and then... Wait, there's no reason for that actually, is there? Because either way, it's gonna have momentum when it comes out. What we instead want It's like this, and then look at this, and then we're gonna do this. Holy shit, I got it. And then for another boost in speed. Oh my god, got it. What? Oh, okay. Are we dead ass? Whoa. This is bullshit. Hold on. Oh. What? Wait, I got it. See, I like shit like this. It's like you have to think, but not too much. It like makes you feel smart. What? Oh my god, bro. Arrows change the direction. I figured that out, man. Why did you just break though? That was bullshit. Oh my god. Yeah, no, that's bullshit. Okay. Here's what you do. Fine. Here's what you do. Bam. Bam. This should be it. Thank you. Wow, so smart. Thank you. See, that's what I like to hear. Okay, we'll do one more. We'll do what was it? You said the first 5 levels were good. Okay, we'll do the first 5 then. Oh, this is easy. Wait. We'll do this. And then, just so the thing doesn't break, we'll do this. And then we'll do this. Bang. Bang. Wait. And then do this. And then bang. Oh my god. Okay, now this is like too easy. I don't know if I like this. Oh my god. I'm just like too smart, really. Like, you know what I mean? It's like too smart to enjoy. SCP anomaly breach ink game idiotic. I could try those games. Or I could DM Ace and we could get Elden Ring going. But he might have gone to bed. I'm not gonna lie. Ace might have gone to bed. He might have forgotten. Did he misunderstand what I said? Okay, yesterday at 4 AM, I said, Twinsky, would you be down for Elden Ring and stream sometime tomorrow? In like 2 hours from now, but tomorrow. Then he said, I'm so down. Did he misunderstand me? I said 2 hours from now, but tomorrow was what I said. That makes sense, right? If I say 2 hours from now, but tomorrow, if I say that at 4 AM, it means 6 AM tomorrow, right? That makes sense? That makes sense, right? That makes sense, right? Do people think they are smart more than actual smart people since that they know that they know nothing? Well, I know that I know everything, so how about that? Think about that. Okay, that's something I'll do because I'm a sleepy boy. Yeah, I mean, look, if Faye wants to sleep, then it's alright. You know, it's Faye. Faye gets to sleep. He gets to be like the princess of the Hydro stream. It's alright. Dude, how do I... What is my PIN number? I mean, I could tell you, but you really want me to dox you like that? Like, think about it. For your own sake, I'm not going to. Okay, hold on. The ball might break if it falls down like that, but whatever, I'm fine. These controls are janky as fuck. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Do that. And then we do this. And then we do this. Bang. And then we do this. I hope it doesn't break if I do this. And then it's gonna go there. And then I do this. Bang. Oh my god, this is easy. Oh, this is easy. Oh, this is easy. Oh, wait, is this a half slab? It is a half slab. Okay. Wait, this makes more sense. Bang, bang. Slab. Slab. Oh, wait. It's all coming together, fellas. It's all coming together. We need a slab here. Hold on. Wait. Wait, hold on. I don't know if I like this. It's probably gonna break, isn't it? I don't know if this is a good idea. Oh, we'll try. Oh, fuck. I see. I believe I miscalculated. Okay, alright. Let's not do that. Oh. Wait. Arrow, yes, arrow. We need an arrow. Ah! Okay, alright. No, that's fine, that's fine. I think the slab shouldn't go there. We'll do this. Bro, if I place a slab here though, it gets weird. Wait, hold on. How do I do this? Let's see. See, now I actually have to think. I like this. We want... I think, yeah, we definitely need a slab here, I think. How do I do this? Idea. Wait, idea moment. Top 10 high drop idea moments. If I do this... What? You can't just like hover the slab? That's bullshit. Wait, can I? Oh, man. Wait, I know. Wait, can I cheese the game? Wait. Oh, wait, 3 slabs? Whatever, wait, hold on. How do I do this? You should play a horror Minecraft mod pack? Yeah, I'll get around to it eventually. I want to take a break. The horror Minecraft scene is low-key like... It's getting weird. Like, it feels like it encourages less and less creativity. So, I don't know. I'm kind of dipping on... I've kind of been... I haven't done horror Minecraft stuff recently. It's weird and like... It feels like if you're creative, you will lose out views. You know, I really don't like that. We'll do this. Dude. Oh my god, these controls are so weird, man. We'll do this. Bro, how do I do this? Oh, I can't hover the thing, man. That sucks. Bro! How do I do this? Would the ball break like that? It will, right? It's definitely gonna break. Yo! Oh wait, do I go this way? Possible. Let's see. Maybe I do this. And then I do this. I do this. I do this. I place arrow here. Hold on. Let him cook. No, wait, fuck. Hold on. Wait, I'll dip after I'm done with this. I really want to do this. Wait. Oh, I need one more arrow. Surely I have an extra arrow lying around? Fuck. Oh my god, it's gonna break here too, man. Yo, that's so bullshit. Fuck. Will it? I can try. Bro, this fucking ball breaks at everything. This sucks. Wait, hold on. Wait, I want to dip as well. Guys, I know y'all want me to leave. I want to do this real quick. Hold on. I'll dip after this. Trust. What's that? Fuck. Wait, I can do this. It saves me an arrow as well. Ah, I see. Naruhodo. Bang. What do you mean horror in this gameplay? That's goated. Okay, now we dip.